You mean to tell me to be a dental office manager in a job that pays 40, 45, let's give it 50,000. She ran up $100,000 degree, and then she decided that she's going to become a stay-at-home mom. They're not going to pay enough to even cover the interest of the degree. Now she's got a 200,000. This just ran 4 days ago. 4 days ago, family. So just last week, okay? He said they started off with $100,000 each, and then he says it's doubled. So that makes me question, how long have they had these student loans for it to double from $100,000 each to $200,000 each? But the title says I'm $500,000 in student loan debt.
So just to clarify, you both borrowed $100,000 each, and over the course of time, both of your $100,000s have doubled, and now you owe $400,000. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it's yep. That sounds right.
How much?
No. It's not. It sounds right. It's really simple. Even I, counting on my fingers, can figure out it's 400,000. But like I said, the title says 500,000. You know, it's moments like these that I realize my day isn't so bad after all. Any troubles you might have had today, family, it has just now been swept away.
Time, I'm just curious.
So we got our associates, which took like 2 years, and then finished a bachelor's, which was 2.5, closer to 3 years, just like how the semesters worked out.
Mm-hmm.
But it doubled in that amount of time?
Yep. So over the course, I don't know exact specifics of my wife's, but
Okay.
Myself, and it seems like a bunch of people that I know, they're in the same
Yeah.
with
It's
the
'cause
interest rate.
It's because your payment isn't covering the interest, and so your loan is not moving. You're paying payments, but your loan is not moving. The total.
Remember what I've told you guys? Okay, if you're doing income-based payments, you gotta start thinking of student loans like credit cards. They just simply say student loan on the front. That's the only difference. And they're worse than credit cards because you can't go bankrupt on them. For him to have had this loan for so long, and he's sitting there and he's going, well, other people I know have this. You see, this is what I've told you. What partly allows us to excuse the ongoing debt when people say, how come student loans can take so long? Why is it that we can get ourselves out of a $300,000 house and get that paid off in 30 years, but a student loan that can be half of that just seems to take forever? Well, part of it, folks, is because we socially, at least here in the United States, with our rather messed up funding for education, we excuse it. We simply say, well, see, everybody else is in this debt because everybody else takes out student loan debt. So we can take it out too. And if you're one of those people and you get suckered into minimum payments, just like a credit card, if you make the minimum payment, does it ever pay off the credit card? No, it does not. You must make that minimum payment, which needs to reach the interest, and then go even above that to get into the principal. $500,000.
Totally
Right.
not.
So
It's growing.
my minimum payment is $2,800 and something, and that's only did the math, and I'm only it's only only 500 of that is going towards the principal.
Yeah.
Yes, family. Did we hear that? And that's his half. $2,800, $2,800, and only $500 going to the actual bill, the actual amount of money that you borrowed, which means more than $2,000 is going to what? Just what he said, interest. Now I want you to take that figure and I want you to times it by 2. Oh, by the way, it's not your imagination. I did get my hair trimmed. Thank you. Just in case you're like, why does she look a little different? That's why. Had about 4 inches whacked off. Okay, now then, back on track. So, hey, just keeping up, all right? So here's the thing. This is why I tell you over and over. I worry so much when people go and get debts that are well over 100,000. Once you hit 100,000, and you've heard me, family, you've heard me say it many times on this channel, okay? Once you hit over 100,000 or near, okay, you're playing with the $100,000 mark. You got to plan about about $1,000 a month, rock bottom, per for every 100,000. So he's saying, if you take this, it says 500,000, okay, but let's just take what the caller's saying, 200,000, right? So what is that? It's about 200,000 plus he says it's 2,800. So my estimation of 1,000 is even low. That's not even getting him out. This is why you got to ask yourself, okay, if I run up $100,000 student loan, let's take it down to 100,000. Do you have $1,000 every 4 weeks to give away? Do you have $1,000? And you can sit there and go, oh, well, I'm going to get it once I get my job, but you don't have that job yet. Do you have $1,000 minimum for every $100,000 that you borrow? And if you don't have $1,000, are you willing to work 2 jobs to get it? If you are going to college without assistance, I am telling you, stay away from the 6-figure loan bill as far as you can. I mean, just walk away from it. That is my personal opinion. After having my student loan for 16 years, I couldn't get rid of it. It went from 85 to 110 until the awesome taxpayers paid it off in 2020. But of course, I've put in 16 years of teaching, and I'm now in my 19th year of teaching. $2,800. So let's put that in some perspective. My entire cost of living is about $1,800. And that includes a good $500 food budget. That's my entire cost of living. So for them to have this student loan and it's doubled, well, they may have been naive in understanding, just how it works as far as the interest. There's got to be a part of you, especially when you're talking almost $500,000 here, okay? There's got to be a part of you that goes, this just doesn't make sense that I can only pay, a couple thousand a month and you expect the bill to go away. This bill's never going to go away. I won't say never, but it's not going to go away for a long while. And this is his half.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
2,300 is going to interest.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about
That's right, 4,300, because it's between the two of them. Think about what your household budget is. All right? Now, assuming you're just, everyday Susie and Johnny Q like I am, all right? Think about your household budget. $4,300 just to go to interest. What is that per year? Oh my God, it's like 40,000 plus.
listen, this is a lot of debt. We're going to help you out. Tell me about you guys' income, because I'm hoping that you've got some jobs that are paying.
Yeah, so I'm a pharmaceutical rep. I make like my base, I make about 130.
Okay.
But I am projected I should make over 300 this year.
Okay, what about your wife? Excellent.
Now, you know how I feel about projections. Again, this just ran 4 days ago. I don't like projections. And when I worked myself into debt freedom and all that wonderful stuff, I didn't do any of it on projections because you just don't know. I did it on what I actually had. In fact, I not only did it on what I had, I did it on what I had, and then what would happen if a little bit more of it went away. I didn't do, I project that he's basically projecting he's going to make 3 times the income. He doesn't know that. You don't know it until you actually get it. And here's the sad part. If they're paying over $4,000 a month just for interest, how much, and I'm not good enough at math to do this in my head, okay? Because I don't listen to these calls in advance. I listen to them with you guys, all right? But how much would you have to make in salary just to cover the interest alone on the student loan? I'm thinking that would require a 6-figure salary just to cover the interest. I mean, think about $4,000, 4, 8, 12, 6. Oh my God, he's paying $20,000 every 5 months. My Toyota Corolla Hybrid that I purchased spring 2024, that is now paid off. I paid off in 9 payments. He could buy himself a brand new Toyota Corolla Hybrid like every 6 months. That's how much money he's paying just towards interest.
My wife, she stays home with our daughter, and she's currently pregnant again, so she'll be just a stay-at-home mom with our children.
She can't afford, excuse me, Jade, she cannot afford to be a stay-at-home mother. Wow, now look, I am not here to tell people how to family plan. But we can learn from the situation and ask ourselves, is this the situation we would want to be? Okay, honey, so we clearly are running near, might as well just make it $500,000 in student loan debt, okay? We're running near $500,000 in student loan debt. So instead of you working, and me working, we're just gonna have another child, you stay at home. This is going to be a runaway train. And if he thinks his $300,000 projected income is going to save them, no, it's not. Because we have to remember, she doesn't work. So you got to take that income, divide it by half. So let's just go out into la land, and let's say he does make the $300,000. Okay, great. Let's split that over 2 adults. That's $150,000 each. Take away taxes. Okay, now think in terms of how much their student loan debt is. Just one of their incomes alone would have to go pay towards the entire student loan debt. But these people don't sound like they do a whole lot of financial planning. I personally would not be having a stay-at-home spouse and a new baby on top of $400,000 debt. This is going to be a runaway train.
Well, let's see about that. So what was her career before she stayed at home with the kids?
She was an office manager for a dental surgeon.
Okay.
Wait a minute. How do you run up a two? Okay, she went to school and got herself into a $100,000 loan. So how do you go to school, run up a $100,000 loan, and you become an office manager for a dental surgeon? That doesn't require a $100,000 college degree. Wow. I see an incredible amount of wasted money.
Okay. And what did she earn doing that?
Probably like 45.
Is that what her $100,000 degree was for?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Time and time again we run into this. You mean to tell me to be a dental office manager in a job that pays 40, 45, let's give it 50,000. She ran up a $100,000 degree, and then she decided that she's going to become a stay-at-home mom. They're not going to pay enough to even cover the interest of the degree. Now she's got a $200,000 degree bill, and this one dude, what's his name, Luke, in Atlanta, Georgia. Why is everything always happening out of Atlanta? Between Atlanta and Florida, okay, you really get a pulse on the debt of the economy. So this dude, Luke in Atlanta, believes that he can, let's put this in reality, afford a wife, a new baby, an already born baby, all their living costs, and $400,000 in student loans. Yeah, sure.
So there is a part of this equation, we'll get to it in a minute. There is a very real part of this equation where she would be working in order to help out with this, and there might be a daycare situation there because you guys have a lot of debt. I was hoping that you were going to say you made 300 and your wife made 200. You making 300 is really, really good, but
he doesn't make 300. He is projecting he makes 300. And if his projections are anything like their debt and family planning, I wouldn't put a whole lot of weight into it.
Just the $400,000 in student loans. I'm guessing there's debt other places as well. Am I right?
No, we rent. I have a car.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Like payment. I just I put 0 down. I have the good credit.
Yeah, but tell me, what do you owe on
credit
it?
card. It's what I owe on it. I think I owe like $28,000.
Okay, what about your?
You don't have money for a car. You don't have money for a $28,000 car. That is not driving a hoopty. Dave Ramsey says you should be driving a hoopty. So remember, family, we're just ching, 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 all this up, okay? Got the wife, got the new baby coming. We got because she's got one baking in the oven. God bless its soul. All right. Then he's already got a kid. He's got the $400,000 student loan and growing, which, as we know now, just to cover the interest is $4,000 a month. Oh, sweet Jesus. God dang. Okay. Let's put this in another perspective. Okay. I like to put things in perspective, okay? That is 2 months of my living. You could add up all my living costs for 2 months. I'm not eating out, all right? Maybe an occasional Culver's, and that's about it, okay? But if I were to take it down, okay? That is his $4,000 a month payment. Actually, it's more than 4,000. Okay, probably closer, I think, to about 4,500 or so. His $4,000 a month payment just to cover his student loans is 2 months of my entire living costs. 2 months. That includes my medical, my dental insurance, my vision insurance, includes my auto insurance. Okay, I have no car, I have no student loan, I have no mortgage. Oh, it includes my HOA at $450 a month. It includes my property taxes. Oh, yeah. That's how much student loan debt he has. He almost seems a little too relaxed about it.
Your wife's car.
It's paid for.
Okay, anything else? Credit cards, HELOCs? Tell me any other debt you have because it plays
That's
into
it.
this.
Just student loans and then just my car.
Okay, so
Doesn't that sound reassuring? Just the student loans, just the $400,000 in student loans.
428 is what we're looking at. You're making 300. So
Okay, we're just gonna let this slide, but he's not making 300. Let's remember this, okay? He's projected.
So this is kind of like the person who makes $60,000 a year but owes 160, right? The ratio is the same. So there is going to be a level of sacrifice if you want to get out of this quickly. You could talk to my friends at Laurel Road. They offer student loan refinancing for high income earners. And so you have the opportunity that maybe you could get a lower payment at a lower rate. What's your rate right now, your interest rate?
So I have 12, is it 12 different loans, I think. I think I have 12 because I went, like I went like spring, summer, and fall.
Yeah.
And
But they're all different.
Anywhere from 11, like they're anywhere from 11, to say 11 to like 14 and some change.
Listen,
So,
I
What a waste of money to have this amount of student loan debt, and you decide that you're not, because his wife is part of it, okay? You decide you're not going to work, to have this amount of student loan debt to be a freaking office manager, okay, which you could probably get with next to no experience, except, I've never heard of an office manager needing to have a $100,000 degree and then have it billed to 200. I mean, you just look at this and just what an incredible waste of money. And because it's one big bill, it's easy for Luke in Atlanta to sit and minimize the impact of this bill, but it's huge. This is a monstrosity of a bill. But he sees it as just one bill, and now they're sitting here having this lovely phone conversation, projecting his $300,000 income.
I talked to him because a lot of what they're offering is 5% and lower. So
If you have federal loans, if you have federal loans, don't transfer it. Because any hope you will ever have for loan forgiveness, if you should ever go into public education or anything else, this is a runaway debt. Mark my words, this is a runaway debt. It already is a runaway debt. We know it because it's doubled, as he said. So my question becomes this. If he could not pay it off when it was $100,000 each, what makes him think he's going to pay it off when it's now $200,000 each? See, it's so easy to sit and look and go, oh yeah, this is gonna be easy peasy. But my thought is, but if you couldn't pay it off when the bill was smaller, what makes you think taking the bill and doubling it is gonna make it any easier? And if he transfers it, if it should be federal loans, if he transfers it from federal to private, he needs to remember that any protection you might have, or any hope you might have, that's a bigger case. Any hope you might have, any sort of forgiveness. He decides, this is a runaway bill. He's going to become a teacher for 10 years and get the loan forgiven. Because right now, assuming PSLF, Public Service Loan Forgiveness, isn't going anywhere. But once you take a bill that is federal and you make it become private, all hopes are dashed, zapped, or anything else, because you have now made it a private bill. This is why I don't recommend taking federal loans and making them private. I don't care what the interest savings rate is. It would have to be absolutely astronomical. And then there would have to be some guarantee that the interest would never change. But remember, once you make that federal loan private, you are literally at the mercy of the company. Now, you could turn around and say, well, yeah, we're at the mercy of the federal government. I get it. I know. But any chance of loan forgiveness under any program, under any administration, another pandemic, hold off the payment. People think that was for everybody, that they got to have that pandemic freeze, pause, on-ramp, and all of that stuff. No, that was only for federal loans. Private, you're dealing with the loan sharks more than you are already dealing with them under the federal government.
I would do that.
Jesus.
I'm not saying that it'll happen and that you qualify, but I would definitely look into that.
I wouldn't touch it if it means going from federal to private.
Because for you, it sounds like you could actually be a good candidate for that. Because what I'm always looking for with student loans is a way to lower those minimum payments so that you can focus more of your freed up money on the smallest debt and knock it out. Because with these student loans, even though you have this grand amount, it's still, like you said, broken into a bunch of littler loans. So if you do the debt snowball, which is what we teach, you're listing all of those little loans from smallest to largest.
How long do you think it's going to take one dude to get out of nearly a half a million dollars worth of debt? How long do you think it's going to take him to get $500,000 worth of debt with a wife who doesn't work and a new baby and current baby and all their bills? I don't see it happening. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I see this being a complete runaway train. And I'm just going to go off of what I'm sensing. The wife isn't too interested in working. So if he goes home and he says, hey, honey, I just got off the Ramsey show and they're thinking you should work, maybe, a year after baby is born, she's going to say no. That's just what I'm striking. And the reason it strikes me is he's almost, I won't say nonchalant, but he's very casual about this amount of debt. So if he's this casual, I can only imagine his wife is as casual, if not more, about it.
And
and knocking off the
That's
small
right.
ones, the bigger and the bigger.
That's right.
We actually in high school we did a Dave Ramsey like our math class. We had the whole we did took the whole Dave Ramsey course.
Yeah.
And
they didn't learn a thing from it.
so we already have we already have over 10,000 saved, but it.
Okay. Let's put in perspective what this $10,000 is in student loan payments. That will get you 5 months of interest covered. $10,000 will give you 5 months of interest. In their case, yes, they do need a $10,000 savings account because, you never know what's going to happen to their living situation or whatnot. But, I'm a strong believer that your savings account is really only as strong in relation to the rest of your debt. Yes, some savings is better than nothing. I admit, okay, because you need to have it. Right? I don't keep much around for savings, to be totally honest. I've only kept like a few hundred. Look, if you have followed me, I don't keep a big savings account. All right? I have access to, yes, hold your breath here, Mr. Ramsey. I have access to so much credit that I can get it 0%. Like I just got an offer today, 0%. I get these offers all the time. So, and it's just me. So I'm really comfortable that, I don't keep more than really just a few $100, including the water repair that I had for about $400 about 3 weeks ago. I just paid for that. So I'm not one who keeps thousands of dollars around. Okay, to each their own and how we choose to save. But it has served me well. I've been fine with it. But a lot of it is because I'm the one in total control of my debt, my finances, and I live basically on half my income. So I mean, I could have $1,000 emergency every 4 weeks and I'd be able to cover it. So because I should preface it with it, because I live so far beneath my income, that so-called $1,000 buffer that we need to have, it's already built into my monthly savings. So I hope that makes sense. It would be different though. I mean, if I were in a relationship, living with somebody, and then I would probably want to have a little bit more security of, okay, we need to have a bona fide savings account. But if it's just me and I'm living way beneath my means, I'm pretty cool with it.
Just, the payment's so much that it's if you don't pay more than just the minimum payment of $2,800,
And that's
you're
right.
gonna pay on it literally.
And he's just figuring this out. That's okay. We're not going to criticize because I didn't know it either. Okay, they probably got him on some sort of income-based minimum payment. I didn't know it either. But now that you know, you think it's a good idea for wife to be at stay-at-home.
Forever.
That's right. And if you're not satisfying the interest within your payment, you're going to pay forever, and you're not going to see the loans go down. Because have you seen your balance go down? You told me you've seen it go up.
I've just seen it go up.
That means that is a clear sign that you had it in forbearance for a certain amount of time and the interest continued to accrue, or the ratio of your payment is not actually satisfying the interest. So the way to get out of that is to make sure your payment really would be your payment getting higher so that you're satisfying the interest and you're paying it off. Because
he's got no money to do all this dreamland stuff. He's not going to have the money. And I think even if his income doubled, he's not going to have the money. When you owe more than $4,000 a month, every 5 months, you're forking out 20 grand. 20 grand. And that's only, oh, heck, it's more, 20 grand minimum every 5 months. And that's not enough even to dip into the principal. So if he thinks his $300,000 imaginary income is going to save anything, no. He needs the $300,000 income, and he needs a wife to go to work. Let's head to our next Dave Ramsey story, and we're going to look at more people in student loan debt. I'll see you in just a second.